Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. So this video, I would say where I'm finally getting back to kind of where I should be, which is the Sicil area. And we're actually going to head out I think it's the west side of town, but north of the beach. So I think the enemy levels out here are like 3. So, I mean, this would probably be the first area you'd want to go if you had just walked into town, you know, and whatever, explored and did what you wanted to do in town. But as far as, like, you know, venturing out into zombie territory, I would say this is probably where you would want to go first. Now, we already did the stuff at the beach, like the south, it'd be like the southwestern gate of town. And if I remember right, I thought the enemies out there were like level 6 or so. So again, I would say that probably this area is where I should have gone, or where I don't know if I would say that the game is meant or means you to go out this way first, but from the enemy levels, I would certainly say that that's probably a good guess. Now, I think one of my characters spotted something below below this spot, and I don't know if I went over there and actually got that. Now that I see it, it looked like maybe it was below that, like whatever. We're at a little bit higher elevation than where I think that's maybe she spotted a mound or something that we could have dug up, and then I don't know if I actually went and got that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess we'll see. But all right, so that was what was it, 3 enemies there. Obviously, I'm way over leveled for this point, and if you've kind of done a lot of the stuff in town, there's a good chance that you'll be, you know, probably like 4 or 5 at least, I would say. It's you hit, I know you hit like 3 and 4 pretty early. Yeah, I thought it was down here somewhere. Maybe, okay, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I completely missed it. Maybe it was actually up top there. Yeah, it doesn't look like I found whatever. So I'm pretty sure one of my characters spotted something. It's like a perception check. So I actually just went back and watched that little bit of footage again. I didn't find something there. It doesn't appear that there actually was anything there. What I actually saw there was one of my characters had said, what is the phrase? They say like sodden all the way to my boot soles or something like that. So I mistakenly thought that you know, it was a perception. Because every once in a while, if you walk by, say something that you can like dig up, if your character's got enough perception, they'll say something like "I found something," and you know, I actually mistook that for what my characters were actually saying, which is, you know, the generic saying for when they or one of, I should say, one of the sayings for when your character is wet. Which this area, obviously, it's raining all the time, and then obviously you can create that yourself if you want to. But my favorite one is "My kingdom for a dry shirt." Sorry. But all right, so we've got another group of skeletons, and then there's an Explo skeleton in here. Yeah, these guys are like level 3. Yeah, so this is super early. Yeah, you could come out here almost right away. So the Explo skeletons, I think we've run across them before, but generally what I like to do with them is either, you know, well, so obviously all my characters are using wands, but it's best if you don't have, well, I guess I would say it's just best to use ranged attacks on them. Otherwise, another really good way of dealing with them is using teleport or teleportation. You can pick them up and throw them and they'll explode. And then I think you can use the rain spell on them too, and I think it'll put out their fuse. And so then I don't know if they because I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've actually killed one that way, but I think if you put out the fuse, then you can just attack it, and it won't. I think it won't blow up when you deal the kill shot on it. So again, it's been a long time since I've actually done that, though. So I guess take what I've said with a grain of salt. So here I got I ended up with a bunch of poison clouds out here, and they will automatically dissipate eventually, because these aren't like traps, you know, because some of the traps in the game they're producing poison clouds, and so, you know, they won't just go away, but these ones would have gone away if I would have just let them be. But here I'm just using my wands here to attack the ground and kind of ignite the poison clouds. There we go. So we'll try to get some of these out of the way. I probably could have just walked through them too and survived without any real issue, but then I'd have to use, you know, the heal spell over and over, and that gets a little annoying. All right. Oh, I just noticed someone's still wearing smelly panties. So we're out running around, and we don't really need to be worrying about charisma checks, at least for at least probably a couple of videos here. So I really should put on one of my dual wielding belts instead, but that's okay. We'll deal. Everything's gonna be okay. But all right, so I had all kinds of stuff here on fire. So let's put this stuff out so I can get to this treasure chest without getting destroyed. Yeah, and all this stuff is garbage. I shouldn't say that. So, you know, potentially if you've come here first, this stuff may not be so bad. Oh, and then there is a grassy pile. Okay, so let's dig this up. So a lot of this stuff, if you'll notice, I just walk by, and then, you know, one of the characters will spot something in. I'm not really sure exactly how much perception you need to spot this stuff, but yeah, I mean, the other thing is, if you're watching the guide, which,
looks like more
yeah, if you're heeding this advice, you're watching the guide. But anyways, you can just manually dig there too. So if you've got a shovel in your inventory, you can just go walk over to that spot and dig up the treasure chest, even if your perception isn't high enough. Although, so we're in obviously the Sicil region, and I think this is just generally most things here are pretty easy to spot. So I don't think that your perception necessarily needs to be that high in order to find the stuff here in this area. And then here it's so nice. There's like this little area where it's not rainy and gloomy, and then we step back into, yeah, the rainy, gloomy annoyingness. It says a sturdy wooden chest key. I'm not actually sure which key or chest that goes to, but we're going to haul that around with us until we find that. And then, where am I going here? Nope, let's go back up here. There we go. Okay, so we're actually kind of on our way to the lighthouse, and well, actually, yeah, we'll make that our first stop here, but we do need to speak with these two soldiers. Lucia. Oh, there's the chest. That sure looks like it. Sturdy wooden chest. There you go. So Lucia and Malleus.
Thank the seven. Lucia, it's the Source Hunter. We're not going to die on this haunted cliff after all.
Who's dying? We're just resting up. The calm before the storm. Those ghosties at the lighthouse won't know what hit 'em. There's certainly something fishy happening. The light shines sure as the tides, though there's not been an attendant there for nearly 2 decades. Our platoon made a pact with Selenia. We'd check out the lighthouse, and if we made it back, we'd get a ticket home.
What Selenia failed to mention was that it wasn't just the ghosts at the lighthouse we had to worry about. It was every savage skeleton on the way there and back too. When we started, we were 7. Now, Lucia and I are the last alive.
Survival of the fittest, I say. We're just here marshalling our strength before hauling into that lighthouse with our swords blazing.
Ha! Marshalling our strength indeed. To be honest, we've been shaking like chihuahuas, praying for a way out of this mess. And it seems the 7 have sent you.
Ah, Malleus, your dignity's in a puddle at your feet. As for me, an honourable soldier and servant to Rivellon, I'm not afraid to ask nicely. So, what do you say, Source Hunter? Will you check out the lighthouse in the name of your comrades in arms? If Selenia sees the place cleared, we'll be on the next ship out to Sicil and back to our families.
You'll go to the lighthouse and straighten matters out, yes? Let us know what you find.
Alright, so there we get a little log update from those 2 soldiers. And then I didn't catch now, so I'm gonna end up just clearing everything out up here, but one of the things you can do is essentially kind of just almost give them, it seems to me anyway, that you can kind of like give them credit for clearing out the lighthouse. Now, I actually didn't go that route because unfortunately I took the, was it the ego? I think it was the egotistical route, and
The further we go, the more bodies we find heaped around. We must be close.
which, God, the egotistical choices in this game are so brutal and mean. And I actually kind of regret taking or going down that route instead of altruistic. I believe altruistic is gives you the reputation increase. And now that I've kind of remembered or refamiliarized myself with the effects of reputation versus bartering, I kind of regret that decision. Kind of. There is the initial choice though, right on like on the beach where, you get to. We'll start this battle in a good way. Oh my god, that was awesome. But yeah, so the choice there with the shell, Ishmael, I believe it is. And if you go with like the altruistic route, you throw him back in the water and you get like a really crummy ring. But if you don't, you get to keep his shell, and then if you eat it, it gives you a 10% permanent boost to your water resistance. So that's the only real choice that I've been happy with so far. But that's, I mean, it's whatever. We're fine, and everything's gonna be okay. But reputation versus bartering, I would argue actually now at this point that reputation is a little bit better, just because I have like a specialized character that is Jahan for doing essentially all of my purchasing and selling. And so basically I've got 2 pieces of gear on him that give him +1 to bartering each. So he gets +2 just from gear alone. And then I put, what does it end up being? I think 15 points into his bartering ability after, because I've made him my crafter as well. So he's got, I believe it's 3 points into crafting, 3 points into blacksmithing, and then it's, the 15 into bartering. And then between all of his gear and stuff, he's got 5 blacksmithing, 5 crafting, and then like 7 bartering. And then I've started actually working on his lore master as well. So he's just just kind of like a utility person for me. If it's your first time playing the game, I actually argue that it's probably better to do that with somebody else. because Jahan actually has, you know, some quests, and he's kind of, or he's pretty useful. I actually used him, I think, for my first 2 games, actually, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, so that's what I've done, and so anyways, long story short, I almost feel now that Reputation is a little bit better than the bartering because, you know, I have a specific character that does all of my buying and selling anyway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it actually doesn't matter at all, like literally at all. But I am still, actually, I do prefer the Egotistical, essentially because of that, you know, 10% bonus to water resistance, permanent water resistance. So, you know, again, long story short, at the end of the day, I'm still happy with the choices that I've made, but I've changed a little bit my stance on Reputation. Again, though, at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter at all. There's you can, if you really want to, you can make as much money as you want by buying and selling and crafting. So, you know, again, end of the day, doesn't really matter, but I guess I still do prefer the Egotistical. It's just that the choices, like, storyline-wise, seem so bad. But, alright, so anyways, this battle, I remember the first couple times I played the game, it was a little bit tough because there's just so many enemies, and the, oh, what is it, the ghoul that guards the lighthouse or something like that? I forgot his name already, but he's kind of nasty. But I started out the battle by throwing, what was that, is that an oil barrel? I think I threw an oil barrel right away, and that really set the battle up really, really well. I think it took out...
Careful, comrade. I think I sense a sorcerer in you.
I think it took out one of the lupine hoarders or whatever right away, and then, like, you know, set everything on fire so everything was all weakened. But alright, so we got, what was that weapon there? I think it's clobbering time. Yeah, this thing is alright. Level 5, so not too bad. Really, really good though, especially if you've got a character that's using a shield, but like kind of like, you know, sword and board, although I guess you could say club and board in this case. But that one's got +1 strength on it, and then a chance to knock down as well. I mean, it's really low. It's like, what, 15%? But I'll take that over no chance to knock down. So, alright, here I was just kind of seeing if I could throw somebody back behind the lighthouse there, but it doesn't look like it. Alright, so let's gather up our spoils here. Yeah, so like I said, I think for sure the first time I played the game, I had a melee character that was like a dual wielder melee person. I didn't go like the backstab route though, so I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea, but I guess I was kind of happy with how it turned out. It was, I guess, heavy, went heavy into man at arms, and did like the heavy armor, and, you know, again, like dual wielder. I used that, I vaguely remember using clobbering time for quite a while on that character. Obviously I didn't put the shield specialist to very good use, but I liked the chance at the knockdown. Alright, let's go downstairs here. So we've got, what is this? Just a, okay, alright, I got all kinds of fun stuff in there. As far as the rest of this stuff, though, I don't remember anything sticking out here. Yeah, this is just kind of junk, I think. Penny bun mushroom. Alright. Every time you open up one of these crates, though, I guess you do have a chance at, you know, getting something extra with the Lucky Charm ability.
I've spotted something.
Oh, I've spotted something. I'm not sure if that was a glass ruby. I'm guessing that was what she spotted, because I don't see anything else. Speaking of Lucky Charm. Alright, now here we're gonna speak with Samson.
What's this? Living eyes that can see the shape of death? Avert your gaze, wanderer. for you are looking upon the phantom of a murderer. Samson was my name, a long time ago. I know not why upon my death I became a ghost, doomed to haunt this tower. Perhaps the gods heard of my crime and stripped me of my rightful place in their eternal realm. If so, their punishment was just. Each night I wake the flame in the lighthouse to repent for my wretched sin. That indeed is the tainted title I must bear, and deservedly so. For 15 years ago to the day, it was that I sat atop my lighthouse, the flame unlit, and watched on as a pitiable ship crashed upon the cliff and got devoured by greedy waves. Deliberately had I foregone to do my duty. Willfully did I condemn every soul aboard to a salty sleep on the bed of an indifferent sea. Why did I commit this act of blackest horror? Jealousy, anger, the bitter anguish of a broken heart. Those are the ancient ills that drove me to madness. Desdemona was on board, as I knew she would be, my wife. The delicate beauty of whom I was sure was betraying me with her friend, the dashing Faladar. Possessed as I was by the demons of envy, ire, and torment, I decided that if I had her love no longer, only death could take her for his mistress. And so I sat here, coldly and calmly, as I delivered them both unto the deep. Yet no sooner had the water closed its spuming jaws around the perishing vessel below, that the extent of my offense dawned on my beleaguered mind. Overcome with guilt, I sought escape through the hangman's noose, but rest was not to come. Skeletons roamed the lands, restless as my troubled soul, but shall not find their lair here. Some scuttle by now and again, but most of the time I reside here in solitude. Solitude and silence.
Okay, so this is Samson.
The
Gosh, I
darkness of
hope
day, the fires.
I hope I've remembered this correctly, but I believe from his dialogue there. So we've actually already talked to Desdemona, which is probably odd. I think we've got some dialogue here between the two main characters.
Quite a story that ghost had to tell. Not every day one hears about a lighthouse keeper sinking ships just because his wife proved to be unfaithful. I, a pitiful creature, torn up so badly by the loss of love that it led him to commit murder. I almost feel sorry for him. Yes, I understand. Despite his heinous act, one can't but commiserate with his plight. Nothing more bitter than love undone.
Okay, but anyway, so like I said, I think, to be honest, it probably would have been better to come out here first. Again, mostly because this stuff is like lower level stuff. Whereas I think the Black Cove was, 6, 7, 8-ish, somewhere around in there. Maybe I'm guessing a little too high. Maybe it was really only like level 6, but I think it makes more sense to come out here first, and then go and do the Black Cove stuff actually later. And then again, so like I said, I've already spoke with Desdemona, and she explains that she had a friend, and it was just platonic.
How did it go? Don't spare any details. We need to make a full report to the lieutenant.
Now that's an interesting story. Clean the grit from your ears and I'll tell you all about it. Indeed. Now there's a story worthy of an audience.
So, let me get this straight. There's a ghost inside operating the lighthouse, and you managed to do away with the bad beasties at the base of the thing. Whew, sounds like a job well done.
And I'm sure Selenia will be thrilled to hear we did it. Another triumph for Legion Daring Do. And if this doesn't buy us a ticket home, nothing will.
Alright, yeah, so anyway, so like Desdemona, you know, they had like a platonic relationship, her and another, I forgot what they were, like were they astronomers or something like that, if I remember correctly? But, so her, I don't know if they were married, anyways, whatever. Samson, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, I'm not sure. Lover. So Samson was jealous and thought more of the relationship between Desdemona and, again, I forget the third party, the third wheel. Yeah, so it seems to me that those two were on a ship going, I'm not sure, coming back, I guess, maybe, to
Indeed.
Sicil. My guess here is that Samson was running the lighthouse, and I don't know, maybe turned off the light, which sent the ship into the rocks. I think that's what happened, if I'm understanding the whole situation correctly. But so when he says murder, yeah, kinda. Well, I mean, responsible for the deaths of, you know, anyone on that ship. So yeah, I guess you might as well say that. And obviously consumed by jealousy, which is why he did it. And unfortunately, you know, a misunderstanding. You know, they were obviously Desdemona and, again, whoever the third party was were just platonic friends anyway. So real shame. But there's a life lesson for you. But anyways, all right. So I went back and spoke with the soldiers there, and if you just tell them the tale about clearing everything out, you get I think that's the altruistic option. But then I just went with the egotistical route and you know, made them go essentially look for themselves, which I'm not sure if I could have kind of sent them there first and like potentially to their death. I don't know. I don't remember if that was even an option. It didn't seem like it was, though. So I guess it seems a little strange to me that, you know, you even make them go and look at the lighthouse. I guess on the brighter side, now, I don't know if they claim credit for, you know, clearing out the lighthouse or not, but I mean, from their perspective, at least they won't have to lie and tell what's her name? Selenia, I think is her name. So they won't have to lie and tell her that they went and looked at the lighthouse, even though they didn't. So again, you know, sending them there at the very least makes it so that they don't have to lie about it. But I don't know if they end up claiming credit now, or if I guess it doesn't really matter, because again, they've gone there, and whether or not they say that the source hunters, you know, or we cleared the joint out or not, it sounds like they may end up getting a ticket home. So we'll see how it all plays out, because I don't remember. But I guess they very well may end up just claiming or taking credit for clearing the lighthouse out anyway. So we'll see. But all right, so I've got what do we got going here? We're heading towards what is this? The north? Yeah, north, I guess. I think this is north anyway. I'm a little turned around. I think we're still technically nearly due west of Sicil. No. It's probably northwest. Anyways. Boy, wow. This one went fast, so I'm about out of time. But as always, I hope the guide was helpful. And hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.